Now, remember, when we're doing a simple interest calculation, this 8% of your balance is for the whole year. That's for the whole year. So we have to divide that by 12 for 12 months. So let's divide by 12, $1,480. Okay, well, with 6 cents. Okay, so $1,480 would be his interest on this total to pay off his home and to pay off the credit cards. So let's look and see if just using his income of that retirement, $3,577, is even going to work for him. Okay, so when his income goes in on this line, it's going to satisfy the interest amount that he owes. Okay, so if he has the very first month, and it's going to be his highest month of interest, the very first month is $1,481, let's say. So he has $1,600 in living expenses that he has to pay every month. Everything else is paid off. So that means that, $3,081. Well, he brings in $3,577. So if we take $3,577 and subtract $3,081, well, looky there. It looks like he's got some cash flow. He has $496 in cash flow now. Now, what does that look like for the payoff overall? What would that mean? How long is it going to take him to pay off all of this debt if he just uses his retirement income only? What does that look like for him? So if we have $1,481, remember, for his monthly interest the very first month, the way I calculate how that's going to look over the payoff of this whole amount, I divide it by 2. That way we're getting an average interest from beginning being his highest interest that he'll pay. The very last payment he makes will have 0 interest, right? So beginning to end, let's see what the average interest is going to look like. So 1481 divided by 2. So his average interest would be about $741 per month. Now, let's see what that looks like for a payoff of this debt. So 218,394 plus 4,800. Remember, we paid off the credit card and the other one. So he had a total debt going in of $223,987. So I'm going to erase this. We're going to go back up here because he is going to put all of his debt into this line and eliminate all of his monthly payments. And let's just see what that looks like with this average interest, what he's going to be paying. So 200 and we're going to say 224,000 pays off all debt that he's showing right here. Now this is his expense card, so it's going to be paid off every month anyway. So here we go. 31,000 is what he's going to have available out of this 255 after all of this is paid off. So this 31,000 being available, well, that feels good to know that you have $30,000 sitting on the side that you're able to pull from if you have that Dave Ramsey life event that's going to happen, right? He doesn't have to have, like $31,000 sitting in a savings account somewhere. Okay, so the point is that this is available in the event you have anything happen, you need money. But this balance is going to keep going down, okay? It's going to keep going down because he has cash flow that's working it down every month, even with the 3577. So again, we're going to talk about how his income is going to go in. So 3577 income for the first month. Let's just do our calculations here. So 224, 3577 coming into it to bring $220,423. Now let's add in his living expenses. And remember, I made him a little high to what he was showing. All right. Then we're going to add in his average interest, 741. This is not the first month. This is the average interest from beginning to end. And then we're going to see what it looks like for a complete debt elimination. How long is it going to take him to pay off $224,000 with just his retirement? So you take the income, 3577, subtract out his monthly expenses that we are showing a little bit more than he showed, and then the average interest, meaning you're dealing with a $1,236 cash flow overall. And so if we take 224 divided by 1236 income or cash flow, that means in using these numbers, he would be paid off in 16 and a half years. Okay. Now, what you need to consider is if you're in this situation, what is that additional income that he's going to be bringing in? Okay. Yes, he would be able to borrow the whole $255,000 because that is 85% of the 300,000. So if he was approved for the loan to value percent, whatever that is, whatever his appraisal comes back, that's what the line of credit would be for that amount, the loan to value. I hope that makes sense. So 16 and a half years is so much faster than a 30-year mortgage, right? So much faster. But if he were to bring in his $3,400 additional income, what does that mean? Okay. The HELOCs, especially the first lien that I'm aware of, is yes, you can keep it for the 16 and a half years in the all-in-one. It's the same thing as a first lien,